you're never going to be Korean. You're always going to be the outsider. You could marry a Korean man, you could learn Korean, you could dress like a Korean woman, you could have the Korean woman hair, but you're always going to be the foreigner. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I missed you. I hope you had a really good week. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jan. I'm an American living in Korea. I've been here for almost 3 years now. Yeah, this summer will be 3 years. And I live here now with my husband and my new dog, Rocky. And I share my experience about living here, and I really want to be transparent with you guys about everything that I've lived through while I've been here, / helping you get here if you want to travel or move. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions or interest or anything that you want to know about living in Korea. Okay, moving on. I have my drinky poos. I have a coffee. Do you guys remember in like 2020 when everyone was drinking out of mason jars? I was just thinking about that, so I'm drinking out my mason jar coffee. Grab your drinky poo and let's get started. So what's it really like to live in Korea as a foreigner? I know you've probably seen on TikTok the dreamy cafes, the awesome street style, the financial freedom that you have living in Korea, and those are all correct. They're all true and very much like everyday life. And they're all good and dandy, but I really want to be super transparent with you guys today about the best things and the worst things that I've seen and experienced while living here. I have two creamers, one like original creamer and one French vanilla creamer, and I've been using the French vanilla so I don't put my coffee, like sugar in my coffee, because the French vanilla is so sweet. I'm talking really fast, but I really want to get through this. But like, I used the original creamer today and I didn't put any sugar in my coffee, so now it's just kind of like a cafe latte. It's okay, it's just disappointing. Let's get into the pros. All right, my first pro is that it's safe and peaceful. I'm sure you guys have probably seen something like this before, that people always talk about how safe it is, especially as a woman. I would never walk outside at night. Even now I'm a little bit hesitant. Just, I know it's safer, but I'm American, so I'm just a little bit hesitant, but I totally can here. I have, like, me and my friends used to go on walks all the time at night. We would have work and then Korean class, and then we would go on a walk after dinner. So from like 8 to like 9 up to like 11 sometimes if we were having like a good chat or whatever. But being able to walk around and not be bothered, I'm not worried about anybody stabbing me or anything like that. Like, I think that is something that is super important. And even if you're traveling here and you're solo traveling, this is one of the best countries to come to, because you are going to be safe. There's no issues. There's so much peace here. Like, it's really, really relaxing. And even if you go out like clubbing and get super drunk, like, no one's going to touch you. No one's going to bother you. Don't do that. Like, you know, don't go crazy, but you know what I mean. I also want to talk about financial freedom. That's one of my second pros, is like being able to pay for things and not worry about money. I worked as an English teacher, and my first year I was making 2.1, yeah, I think I was making 2.1 million won. This was in 2022. And I could still go on trips, still go on, this was like monthly, so I could still go on trips, still get a facial every other month if I wanted to, still buy food. And like, actually the tea is that it's cheaper to buy food out every single day rather than do groceries here, because groceries like meat and fruit is super expensive. I talked about this before, but it's actually cheaper to go out to eat every single day rather than buy groceries. But overall, it is all just like cheap anyway. But I still was able to do all of those things with that kind of money over like during the month, and I never ran out. So it is just like, obviously be smart, budget your money, but it's way cheaper than living in America. Even in Seoul, like some things in Seoul are a little bit more expensive than living outside of Seoul, but it's not like crazy expensive. My next one is aesthetic culture. So this means like the dreamy cafes, the aesthetic cafes. I'm sure you've seen so many with that. Like, it depends, because sometimes the aesthetic cafe is going to be beautiful and good, but most of the time, like, they just make it so that it's Instagram worthy, and like it's like mid. But you should definitely go anyway and take your pictures, you know what I mean? Like, or even it's just like a beautiful vibe to have anyway. So having the aesthetic cafes, having like the streetwear, which is all sick and it's like really, really nice and so interesting to see. even like the convenience store. Oh my god, like the ramen, oh, near Han River, that's my favorite thing to do. Going to Han River, getting like the ramen that like with a little machine, and then sitting around the river drinking banana milk. Like that's all super fine and dandy, and I love it. Like it just makes life more romantic. You know what I mean? Like that's so romanticizing your life, is like doing all those cute and aesthetic things, and I love that. I would say the people are super respectful and kind, and I think living in Korea is like an introvert's dream because people give you your space. Like they don't bother you, they don't really look at you, they don't talk to you, and unless like obviously they're working or like they have to talk to you, but for the most part they will leave you be. And like even if they are speaking to you, like I've never had any issues with racism. Like I've never had any issues. People stare at me sometimes, obviously. I mean, I have my hair is gorgeous, what can I say? But like people stare at me sometimes, but no one has ever disrespected me. No one has ever like turned me away from the club because they're like no foreigners allowed. Like no one has ever done that, and for the most part people are really, really kind. So I really do appreciate that. I feel safe and appreciated, I guess. Everything is convenient. Like I've talked about Coupang before. I love Coupang. It's like, it's amazing. I can get like my groceries on there, my food on there, clothes, like everything. It's super cheap. It'll arrive the next day. That's super convenient. Like delivery is really, really easy. Oh my god, guys, I found this app that's literally $20. You pay $20 and it's called Laundry Go, I'm pretty sure. And you take your like dry cleaning outside of your apartment. You just leave it outside, and then the people will come over, grab your clothes, go dry clean it, then bring it back to your doorstep, and you don't have to do anything. Like that's how convenient Korea is. So that's the tea, y'all. Like it's amazing. Honestly, finding out that Laundry Go app and Coupang, life changed. Y'all, be for real. Like I can't expect to go to America and do that. Someone's gonna steal my stuff. You know what I mean? So that is super, super convenient. It's really safe. It's really nice. And it's just like easy. Like life is just so easy here. It's great, honestly. Y'all should come, for real. Y'all should come. Okay, let's get down to the cons. All right, so if you hear Rocky, because I can hear him, if you hear him, please ignore. So I want to say the language barrier. The language barrier is so real. Like, I think if you're coming to Korea, or honestly, if you're going to any country, you should be learning at least the 50 most used phrases of like that language. It's super convenient to have that in your back pocket because it's just really difficult whenever you want to go outside. In Seoul, most of the time they speak English, but outside of Seoul, Busan even, like in Busan, I only speak Korean. Like it's really, really hard for me to find someone who speaks English. So I think just being aware of the fact that it is something that you need to know, like speaking in Korean, or even just like going to the grocery store, because they're going to ask you a few questions, like if you want your receipt or if you want a bag and stuff like that, and like you need to know how to communicate that, or like it'll be a little bit more difficult for you. So I do think, but at the same time, like this isn't like a con of like, oh, everyone speaks Korean, no one speaks English. This is the fact that it's a con as in I need to speak more Korean, or I need to learn more Korean, or you need to learn more Korean so that you can feel comfortable here and you don't feel lost. Because it is easy to be lost, and it's not our job as foreigners or as people who are visiting or people who don't live here to be like, oh, I'm going to Korea, I'm going to Japan, I'm going to China, I'm going to Egypt, and everyone needs to speak English. Yes, it's the global language, but you shouldn't expect people to change their lifestyle for you. Okay, sorry to go on that little tangent, but that's the tea. So yeah, I think also loneliness is really hard here. I think I talked about it in a different video. It's really hard to make friends here, both Korean and foreigners. When it comes to foreigners, sometimes it feels like it's kind of a competition. If you're living here, like, oh, I've lived here for 5 years, I've lived here for 3 years or whatever. Whenever I've walked past foreigners, like this isn't everyone, but like when I have walked past foreigners, I always kind of get miffed vibe from them. Like they're like, you know, or we don't make eye contact. If we were in America or in Europe, I feel like we wouldn't do that. We would say hi, you know, at least as we're walking by. But I guess, you know, you kind of have to assimilate into the culture of like wherever you're from. So, I mean, I'm not going to wave to a Korean person and be like, hi, they're going to think I'm crazy. So I do kind of understand it, but it does like foreigners do come off as cold when they're passing other foreigners. And then Koreans are honestly just so nervous sometimes to speak to foreigners because they don't want to speak English, or like they just don't know how to approach us. So it is really hard to make friends, and sometimes it does feel lonely. I mean, a very introverted country, so no one's gonna just walk up to you, and I think that does play into the isolation a little bit. Okay, so this one, oh, I have so many stories for you. Okay, the hygiene, y'all. All right, it's nasty. When I tell you, all right, I have so many stories, I'm telling you. One time I was walking outside of my job, right? So I'm walking this way. I'm walking. And then there's this guy, a Korean guy, who's walking the opposite way from me. Literally, he couldn't wait. He turns at the same time that I'm like right by him, turns towards me. He's taller than me. Turns towards me. Achoo! Sneezes on my head. On my head. They don't cover their mouth. It's nasty. It's open air sneezing, y'all. And he sneezed on me. Guess what? Got sick. And matter of fact, if that guy, I hope he's having a bad day. Because that was so nasty. Like, oh my God. They open air sneezing. They just spit everywhere, guys. Like, it's really, really nasty. It's especially like the men. I haven't seen a lot of women do it, but especially the men, like they'll like hack something up and just spit right next to you. They don't care. It's nasty. And like sometimes you'll be walking, you'll just see spit on the ground. Disgusting. Or even vomit. Especially in Seoul, y'all. Be careful. In Seoul, corners, like anywhere in the corners, y'all will just see straight up vomit. They're just walking and then they just vomit. Nasty. Like, please wait for the bathroom, girl. Like, I've done it before, been there. I get it, been there. But I don't throw up like on the side of the road next to a building. Like, that's disgusting. So that's something that is really, really nasty that I've never seen before. But I've gone to Tokyo and people do vomit on the streets in Tokyo. So it's the same kind of vibe. It's disgusting. Y'all just be careful. Anyway, the social hierarchy pressure. So there's like a really important drinking culture, like that you guys will probably see if you live here for long enough. There's a really important drinking culture, like how you pour the soju in like a glass, how you receive it. It's like you're supposed to hold it a specific way, hold the bottle a specific way. Whenever you take a shot, if you're the youngest at the table, you have to turn this way. You know what I mean? There are so many different things. And that's not just with drinking culture, but it's also even with speaking. Like they have a formal Korean and casual Korean. And if you're speaking to someone older, you always have to use formal Korean. So it does feel like a little bit frustrating because I think it keeps you at arm's length from everyone else because there is so much respect that needs to be held for like anyone. And like you always have to just assume that someone's older than you and speak to them formally before they tell you like, oh, we're the same age, and then you can speak casually, you know? So I think it's just kind of frustrating. I feel like it's just like way too much pressure, and like that's something that we don't really have in the States. Like we don't really, you know, I mean, we're respectful, but it's not like, oh, hello, sir, good morning, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just a little bit too much pressure. But I do believe that people that I have met, they are very lenient when it comes to speaking formally, like my husband's friends and stuff. But my parents-in-law, I definitely have to speak formally. So yeah, it's really easy to make mistakes, but you know, just keep practicing. I guess we don't really have a choice. The last one is feeling like, just like I'm always going to be the foreigner. I've been here for 3 years and I've known people who have been here for almost 10 years, but they always feel like they're the foreigner. They can, you know, conform to Korean customs, Korean style, like it's a lot more modest than American style, or even just like becoming fluent in Korean, but you're always going to be the foreigner. And I honestly think it's the equivalent. Y'all know those clips? Oh my gosh. Y'all know those clips that are like, oh, you're so good at Korean. Like it's like the talk show host like saying to K-pop stars, like, your English is so good. Your English is so good. And then they're like, yeah, I'm from Canada. I'm from Australia. That is so embarrassing, but like that's how it feels. Like when you're a foreigner living in Korea, they're always going to be like, oh, your Korean is so good. Even if you've been here for 20 years, like you're never going to be Korean. You're always going to be the outsider. You could marry a Korean man, you could learn Korean, you could dress like a Korean woman, you could have the Korean woman hair, but you're always going to be the foreigner. And that is just like sad, I think, honestly. It is like something to think about when considering like the length of your stay, whether you're or not you're comfortable with that. Honestly though, Korea isn't perfect. No country is, no groups of people are, but I'm personally here because I'm growing here, I'm building my life here. I don't regret it for a second. I wouldn't change it, and I wouldn't go back to America right now, but take it with a grain of salt. It's not just cherry blossoms and cafes and living the easy life. There are really easy components to life here, and there are so many great things that I love about living here. But there are also things that you need to really consider and think about if they're your deal breakers or not. Guys, comment down below if you're thinking of moving to Korea or if you're thinking about traveling to Korea and what really surprised you the most, okay? If you guys like an honest, soft life vibe abroad, then don't forget to subscribe, send it to your friends, send it to your mom, send it to your cousin, your long lost cousin. And yeah, thanks for watching. I love you so much. Comment below anything that you want to ask me. Tell me if you're gonna move here, or tell me if you want to watch anything from me. So yeah. All right, love you. Bye.